Superman and Lois has fired half of its main cast ahead of the start of season 4, but that might not be such a bad thing. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. Those of you who have been following the Toontown channels for a while likely know that Superman is my favorite superhero and my favorite fictional character in general. My first Superman as a kid was Dean Cain, a guy who perfectly personified everything Clark Kent and gave us a generational performance as Superman. So since then, I hadn't seen anyone come even close. I mean, Brandon Routh and Henry Cavill had the potential from interviews I've seen. It seemed like they really understood the character, but unfortunately, they were shackled by terrible scripts under the watch of two of the worst directors to ever slither their way out of a Burbank septic tank. But then along came Superman and Lois, and Tyler Hoechlin quickly showed us what a Superman should be. He's the spiritual successor to Dean Cain, something I said to Dean himself when I was on a panel with him on the WW Pro channel. Superman and Lois has been a breath of fresh air, showing Superman as a capable, compassionate, and stable husband and father, while also maintaining his role as the world's greatest superhero. The main problem in Superman and Lois is the exorbitant amount of time spent on meaningless side characters who mean nothing to anyone. But as season 4 kicks off, we got word that due to a vastly reduced budget, we got a vastly reduced cast, and I think that could be a good sign of things to come. So here we go. Superman and Lois axes half its cast after season 4 renewal. We're now looking at an article from Collider about this. So the change has been inevitable for this version of the Man of Steel. It was recently announced that Superman and Lois will come to an end through a fourth and final season. This was confirmed that it was being ended because of what was then called Superman Legacy, now just called Superman, the James Gunn movie. And apparently Warner Brothers can't wrap its head around more than one Superman property at a time, which is just ridiculous because the show was great, and I hate that it's ending after only 4 seasons. But, 4 seasons is not bad. The episode count was reduced just to allow the series to bring its story to a close without leaving the characters with incomplete journeys, which I am thankful for that. I'm glad instead of just ending it that they were like, okay, we're going to at least give these guys a send-off. But now it looks like, a typo there, the scale of the season will be even smaller than originally thought, as Deadline reports that some of the supporting cast members won't be returning for the show's conclusion, setting the stage for a very small departure for the beloved series where they can only appear in guest roles depending on their availability. So basically what this is saying is that most of the cast who were series regulars for the last 3 seasons are now being downgraded to guest stars, which means they'll probably be, oh man, there's another typo. This is a bad article. Holy crap, Diego Peralta and whoever your editor is. And folks, I don't think this is a terrible thing. I don't think this is the end of the world for this show. I think that this is the kind of show where like this could actually be a good thing. Now, look, I'm not saying, yay, people lost their cushy job. Like, I'm not celebrating anyone being fired because I'm not cruel, but I also believe that a business is a business and you have to do what you have to do. Dylan Walsh, who played Lois's father, General Sam Lane, over the course of the series, won't be returning for the final installment in any supporting capacity. Added to that, Emmanuel Triqui, who was in charge of portraying Lana Lang through the story, will also be saying goodbye to the CW production as a regular cast member. I like her as Lana Lang. I thought she was a good Lana. When I hear the words Lana Lang spoken next to each other, I get this like mental squeeze on my brain because the only Lana Lang that ever comes to mind is this Lana Lang, and this is a bad Lana Lang. But we'll get to that another day. They won't be the only characters not being able of bringing their... but what the heck? Collider, who is your editor? Because, good Lord. And they won't be the only characters not being able of bringing their arcs to a close. You know where you don't see this? That Park Place with John Trent. What a guy. Since Eric Valdez's Kyle Cushing is also set to disappear from the show's supporting guest. Thank you, football god, as they would say in Little Giants. Good Lord. Let me tell you something, folks. The show is great when it focuses on Superman and when it focuses on the Kent family. We focus on Jordan, Jonathan, Lois, and Clark. They're great, and they have this great family dynamic, and it shows a complete American family that is functional and, has their issues, but work through them positively. And then you've got this Lang family where everything is just ham-fisted and shoved down your throat, and you're just like, why aren't we with the interesting characters? Why are we with Lana, husband of Lana, and spawn of Lana all this time? And now he has an affair, and now he's dating the editor of the newspaper, and I don't care. And Lana is now the mayor of Smallville, which of all the side plots with them was the least objectionable. Because at least she was, a decent enough character, but my God. While it will be sad to see these characters in a smaller fashion, a smaller budget was necessary in order for the network to produce 10 final episodes for the show. What made this iteration of the iconic DC characters What made this iteration of the iconic DC characters was so special was was this written by like an AI that also can't spell? Superman and Lois' lives were explored in a way that focused on how they related to their roles as citizens beside the side jobs of saviors of the planet. Saviors of the planet, plural, is kind of a weird way to put that because Lois Lane is a reporter. That's her job. She informs the planet. She doesn't save the planet. Clark Kent, Superman, saves the planet. And Lois on this show, I really thought this show, because I mean, look, I was used to like Supergirl and the Flash, like where they went to with Iris and all the girl power stuff and all like the Dreamer stuff, and it was all just like so in your face on everything. Like there was an episode of Arrow about bump stocks, and it was just like so in your face. And this was made by the same people. But I thought Lois was going to be this insufferable girl boss who was constantly berating Clark and saving his life and really being the true savior of the day. She wasn't. She's just they're a partnership. Neither one of them is more important. They each have their role to play, and they each play it. It's brilliant. It's brilliantly done. They are the best Lois and Clark duo since Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher. And while some of the supporting cast members will be reduced to some sort of glorified cameo, one of them has been promoted to series regular for the final season, and it couldn't be a Superman adaptation without Lex Luthor, who will be played by Michael Cudlitz, who will see his role go from supporting character to one of the main faces in the cast. So he's going to be series regular now. I like this Lex Luthor. He's really cool. Like they've been teasing him for a while. I thought it was going to be the John Cryer version because originally this was set in the Arrowverse, and then like somewhere in like the middle of like season 1 or 2, they were just like, you know what? It's in its own universe now, so that we don't have to worry about things like why Supergirl isn't showing up or where the Flash is or what's going on with the Justice League. Despite the fact that we like undid the multiverse in Crisis on Infinite Earths, but I digress. I'm not looking for continuity here. They wanted to do their own thing, and that's fine. And I like John Cryer as Lex Luthor. This is a very different Lex Luthor on this show. This is like Lex Luthor, like as a bruiser, like the Lex Luthor that got set loose out of prison and then walked to Smallville just to tell Lois Lane to go F herself. And the show ended on a fantastic cliffhanger with him fighting Doomsday on the moon. I mean, the Doomsday fight was so well done, and the entire like evolution of Doomsday was perfect. They basically turned Bizarro into Doomsday, which obviously, it's different than what was in the comics, but I really liked it. I thought it worked very, very well. But now here's the other thing. The budget is going to be so reduced for this season because obviously they've got like no money to make this show. I've been hearing rumors that it was going to be like Superman was going to lose his powers in the first episode and he was going to have no powers for most of the season. And I was like, please, God, no, none of that. None of that, please. Because the thing I hate more than anything is the arc where the superhero loses their powers. I don't want to see that. I want to see them be the hero and deal with the world around them in relation to the power that they have. Okay, that's why I liked it. I don't want to see Superman not be Superman. If demoting some of these characters from season regulars to guest stars was going to be enough to free up enough budget to let Superman do things like, fly or punch things or, do stuff, then I'm all for it. Less Lana Lang family drama, more Superman flying, and more budget for special effects. I mean, you got to have it. This final season has got to be epic, folks. It has to be. Because this show has been so good, it would be a real shame if they fumbled it right at the end the way they did with The Flash. God, was that a great show that became so awful. Look, no one likes to see anyone get fired or demoted in this case, but this is a Superman show, and if more budget is needed to make Superman be Superman, and we can all focus on the core family instead of Lang family drama, then it's necessary for the show itself to end on a high note. I know I'll be watching with bated breath and reviewing the final season of Superman and Lois when it returns to the CW. Hey, thanks for stopping in and being a part of the monster movement. Marvelmania is running wild here and on our sister channel, Tooneytown Wrestling. I'm also a featured regular on That Game Place, the gaming channel for That Park Place, so check that out and give it a subscription. Please like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. For all of us here at Tooneytown TV, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!